yourself for invasion. This is Indie Invasion.
Welcome to Twisted Tales. Tales set in the world of Twisted, a steampunk skirmish game by Demented Games. This is Eric here from Indie Invasion. Today's tale, The Reckoning, written by Peter Overton and read by very own Mac.
The Reckoning. A single guttering lantern lit the dilapidated room with a sickly light. Bill Sykes sat on a ragged armchair, which bowed and groaned under his monstrous weight. His eyes were fixed on the strange device on the far side of the chamber. He glared at it, and, if his impression was correct, the machine stared back. The back of his mind, the voices whispered. The voices had been there ever since the fateful day Fagin had triggered the device. Quiet voices that suggested dark deeds. Bill saw dim figures in the smoke of the burners that drove his new legs. He hated them, and he was sure they hated him too. He'd always been filled with grim determination to do whatever benefited him, but now no longer cared about anything with the exception of this infernal device. He would beat it into submission as he had beaten everything in his hard, cold life. He would control it, and then he'd show London what real power was. The door creaked open, and the hunched figure of an Erkin, one of Fagin's twisted young pickpockets, entered the dank chamber. Bill glowered, and the ragged form cowered away from him, seeking refuge just out of his reach. Fagin said you wanted some ink, the Erkin croaked. Go topside and fetch me beer from the Grey Goose, Bill growled darkly. And tell that fool Riley I want his best stuff. Mine, not the rot he sells to the harlots. Bill's every word carried a threat of imminent violence. Even the simplest instruction could chill the soul. Bullseye lay dormant by Bill's chair. What had been a simple dog was now the size of a wild boar. Paws sporting razor talons, tongue long and sinuous. It growled and shifted, making the Erkin flinch sideways, almost out the door. How should I pay him? The Erkin asked haltingly, expecting pain at any moment. His payment is not getting a visit from Nance. Tell him that, barked Bill. Relieved to have escaped physical harm, the lad scuttled off to find some help on his errand. He'd need assistance in case the bobbies or peelers were about up top. If he was lucky, he'd be accompanied by a tall boy. It was a job for Bill after all, so Fagin would have to send his best. Bill settled back moodily in the chair, considering the little creature as it scurried off. There'd been a number of strange losses with Erkin lately. Only the day before, Fagin had sent a scavenging party down the East Tunnel. None but Dodger had returned, spinning tales of a group of punters with weapons. He'd have to look into that. But first, there was the matter of this node. Bill mused as he continued his silent contemplation of the device. Before long, the Erkin returned, bearing a leather flagon and a brass plate piled with golden pastry. Here it is, Bill, the small figure squeaked, proffering the goods. Bill upended the flagon and took a deep drink. Then, with an enraged roar, sprayed the room with beer. The Erkin cowered, knowing his end was mere moments away should Bill turn on him. He calls this his best? This unadulterated shite, he bellowed. Get back up top and bring him here. Take Oliver if you have to. But I want that fool here quick shot. The voices whispered to Bill as the Urkin left. They whispered things Bill wished they wouldn't. But these things, they assured him, were necessary. Bill sat unmoving, listening as time passed until the sounds of struggle heralded the arrival of Wright, innkeeper of the Grey Goose, in the company of 4 Urkin and Fagan. My lads have brought him as you asked, Bill, wheedled the old man. No need to hurt them, eh? No, Fagan. No need. Bill's voice trailed off darkly, leaving Fagan desperately wishing he'd not come to plead their case. Still, if he hadn't come, he'd like as not be short 4 lads. Bill, Riley sniveled haltingly. I'm sorry, Bill. Sorry be buggered, Bill glowered, leaning forwards and looming over the man before him. Even seated, Bill was taller than the portly merchant. Since when did old Brickery become your best ale, eh? Riley shuffled and stammered. It's not your best, is it? Bill continued, talking over the terrified innkeeper. He reached into his overcoat and drew forth his great pistol. The barkeep staggered back as the immense muzzle swung up, pleading fearfully for his life. The bore of the gun, fully 1.5 inches across, seemed cavernous. It's not your best! Bill roared again. In his mind, a whispering voice gave the command, and Bill pulled the trigger at point-blank range, a hideous grin spreading across his scarred face. When the smoke cleared, the chamber resembled a charnel house, every surface, including the terrified Urkin, dappled with deep red drops. What remained of the unfortunate Riley lay unrecognizable on the floor. Bill leaped forward to pick up the flagon, a thin veil of Mr. Riley now floating on the bruised surface. With a smirk, Bill took a swig. Now, that's improved the flavor, he muttered to himself. Then, Fagan, he said sharply, without looking up. Send Dodger up top to explain our arrangement to the new owner of the goose.
Thanks, guys, for listening to today's tales. You can find our Indie Invasion podcast on all podcast platforms, including Podbean, Google, and iTunes. And please visit us on Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, Twitter, and if you can, support us on Patreon/Indie Invasion. And feel free to email us with any questions or comments at indieinvasion@gmail.com. And remember, guys, don't forget to prepare yourself for the invasion.